Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Jackie Cation giving away all the good stuff before the mics are turned on. What are you doing?
It's 1 o'clock in the morning in my head. In my head, it's 10 o'clock here.
It's 10 o'clock on a Monday night.
On a Monday night, because all of us are busy, including Kyle.
Yeah.
And so I had the worst travel day where it was delayed. But
You flew all day today.
I flew all day and
Awful.
sat in the Atlanta airport for too long.
Was it all economy?
It was all, but Delta Comfort. Because Delta, is that anything? Is that
like
something?
It sounds like a Japanese rape term.
It's fake. And it's begun, you guys. Hi. Welcome
you're
to
a
the
comfort
Jackie and Laurie
passenger.
Show with Laurie Kilmartin and Jackie Cation. I'm Jackie Cation. And
I'm Laurie Kilmartin.
Here you are. It's here's the scoop. I was on the road over the weekend with Marie Bamford. We did Nashville.
Can we just pause and just go, sweet gig?
Soak it up, people. Soak it up. I am more than grateful. And it's so funny because Lady Dynamite came out this weekend.
I watched the first one. It's really
Did you?
great.
It's really funny.
Yeah. Have you seen them all?
No, I've seen episode 6.
Okay.
Weirdly enough, and it had time code all over it, but it was funny and I was psyched.
Yeah.
And what I found out today about the episode that I was in, which is episode 4, is they've I don't have any lines. They took all my lines out.
What happened? They did
took
some
out
editing?
They took out Andy Kindler's lines too.
Oh.
So now we're just cameos, right?
Oh.
And here's the thing. Rage. I had disproportionate disappointment. And then what that did was that made me on a 5-hour flight after a 10-hour day of sitting around at the airports and a 5-hour flight on a plane that I had Wi-Fi, just get into it politically with people.
Good.
Yeah,
take
why not?
Take it out on conservatives.
Take it out on banana heads who are on the fucking internet being jerkweeds.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
So
but
Lady
then I was-
Dynamite's out. You're on
Lady
the road
Dynamite.
with Maria.
So I'm talking to Maria when we get off the plane because I find out on the plane that it had been cut. And
Did they say why?
no, well, I'm sure it was just too busy.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is the show itself is so layered.
Yeah, right.
That I'm sure they had to cut it for clarity.
Yeah, for time maybe
For
too.
time and clarity and all these things. And it's fine. But I said to Maria, my career has just been one beautiful step after another. Not a misstep. Nobody's ever dropped the ball and nobody's ever really denied me anything. And we looked at each other and we laughed and laughed. And I was like, I just needed to say it out loud. She had accidentally read a bad review.
Oh.
Yeah, because there's been so many great reviews of
Yeah.
Lady Dynamite. And she was like, yeah, somebody sent me a bad review on Twitter, and I decided to read it. And I was like,
Who would do that?
just some dingbat.
Oh,
That's the
fuck.
thing. If you don't like it, don't like it. Who cares? What does she care? I mean, why do you gotta?
Right, especially because I think she's not a fragile person, but she's
No.
a sensitive person.
Right.
And that's very obvious in the series.
Right.
So I
she
can
internalizes.
understand sending Arnold Schwarzenegger a bad review because he wouldn't give a fuck and he would probably make him stronger.
Right.
But why would you send a sensitive person or
Right.
any comedian a bad review unless
Right.
you have an ill intention?
Right. Well, and so the greatest thing about going on the road, though, you have an ill intention, and she internalizes it and tries to see the point of view of everyone. So she's like, well, I see
much
why.
empathy.
Right, too much empathy where you're like, no, you don't actually have to care if they didn't like it. It doesn't matter.
That's the line her best friend in the first episode has about too much. I have too much empathy. That's why I couldn't visit you in the hospital. I did it. So I forget exactly. The line's perfect, and
It
fucking
is
up.
perfect.
It's set on the bench.
So, but it's for the best, and it's hilarious. The show, I'm sure, is. I forgot my Netflix password. I have a new phone.
Yeah.
Who cares?
You'll get to it.
I'll get to it. It'll be fine.
I think it's almost kind of cool that you and Andy have cameos. It's almost like, wow, she got them, and they don't even say lines.
right.
Like, that's
Somebody
her
sent
kinda
me a
pull.
screenshot. of it, and
That's
it's
cool.
just a facial recognition. Well, and it's funny because in the show, we were entirely discussing blowjobs. That's what the conversation was that I had with Maria Bamford on her show.
Okay.
I have been friends with Maria Bamford for over 20 years.
Yeah.
We have never discussed blowjobs in real life. So hilarious. And I said the word motherfucker. That's the only time I've never said the word motherfucker.
No, you say banana head.
I say banana head like a weird
I wish
lady.
you would say motherfucker.
Because motherfucker has more.
It's almost like, and I'm just saying, like a guy's fantasies about female conversations,
Right.
versus what we actually talk about.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
It is hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
It is,
yeah.
yeah.
And I'm not saying that happened. I don't know
In this
how that
case.
was moving.
Right. Who
the story
knows?
forward, but whatever. Yes.
It was definitely, I'm sure, moving the story forward. But it doesn't matter because, but it was hilarious to me. But going on the road, what I forget is I've been out with Maria on the road for a couple of months, and going on the road with Maria Bamford, people might wonder, what's it like going on the road? It's like being best friends with Hermione Granger, which is a Harry Potter reference.
I
Laurie
got
Kilmartin.
it. I fucking
Woo!
got that
There we go.
one.
You
I'm
got
still
that one.
angry that you said it, but I did get it. I did get it.
Here's a scoop about because what you do is you spend a lot of time in the library. You spend a lot of time working, and so we did some amazing joke machine where
Wow.
we would just sit around. We sat around for like an hour just doing 5-minute chunks at each other.
Oh, that's
and
so
she
cool.
punched up one of my jokes. I got to work on a bit. She's doing that storytelling thing on Comedy Central, so she wanted to run her story.
Oh, she's doing Ari's thing?
Yep.
Okay. I had a complaint earlier.
right.
Before I even
Because you
knew.
all week you've been, doing sets.
I've been doing sets here in LA, and every comedian is converging to tell their story, and they're
Right.
all working out their fucking stories at shows.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to hear your story. I don't like stories. I don't like your lengthy pauses. I don't want to hear,
some sort of NPR
you laughing
pacing.
at your own shit because you don't have a punchline there. I
Right.
don't want to hear your story. Tell a fucking joke. But it's almost over.
It's almost over.
And God bless. I hope everyone has a good set.
Exactly.
But I'm tired of you running your stories.
Oh God, that's hilarious. Yeah.
So you worked out a lot of shit. You said you're
Yeah.
going to do 2 separate shows of new material.
Right. So before I go up at Nashville, we go to Nashville, we go to Charlotte.
So you have one show each
Show
place?
each place. The Nashville show,
Were you at Zany's?
we weren't. We were at a little theater.
Oh,
little
neat.
theater that had, I don't know, 800-900 people in it.
Wow.
Pretty great. Pretty great. Second one, Charlotte, more lightly attended, I think because of the political drama.
Yeah.
Even though we gave as
So
much
you
money as
canceled
we
and then
made
yeah.
to Equality NC, North Carolina.
That's great.
Yeah, so we split it 3 ways,
Yeah.
the profit. So we all made, I was like, well, why don't you keep my extra chunk for yourself since you did the hour? And she's like, no, it'll be fine. So we left it at that. And, so right before I go on stage in Nashville, I was like, because she always asks the same question before the show, which is, what do you want the show to be like? Is there
She
any?
asked you or the
Yeah,
audience?
She asked me.
Oh, that's
She
cool.
asked, and herself. She was
Yeah.
like, what do I want out of this set? Do I want to make sure I do this one new joke? Do I want to make sure I do a new chunk?
Yeah.
Do I want to make sure that I'm working on something that needs tightening or something, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, what I need to do is I need to work on 2 like 25-minute chunks that'll make my new album. And she said, okay, don't do anything. She said, do whatever you want, but don't, if you can, don't do anything that you've ever recorded before. And I was like, okay, that's going to be a little messy.
That's hard because you have like
I have stories,
900
it turns out.
oh no, the podcast just ended. We just got in a fight.
Bam! And we're walking out. No,
But it's like you have 800 or 900 people there.
that I
Can
want to
close
perform.
your phone?
No, that's the notes. It's the notes for whatever I want to do.
Dude, I'm your notes.
You're-
Look into
okay.
these eyes.
That's
I'm
right.
your
We're doing
notes.
it again. We're
Yes,
doing it again. All right.
come on.
Closed up.
Okay.
We're just going to run it.
Yes, we know what we want to talk about. We'll go off on
All right.
trails.
Yeah,
Little
it'll be
trails
fine.
and valleys.
So yeah.
So
So I want to produce. I want to make sure
Yes.
everybody has a good time
Yes.
and that they're set up for Maria.
Right.
That is my number one thing is when I feature
Right,
for
right.
anybody is I want to make sure I want to set the table
you hand
right.
your headliner a great audience.
Yeah, that's what I
Yes.
want to do.
Yes.
That's all I want to do. It's I want to do my jokes and I want to have fun. But the main thing that I want to do whenever I open for anybody is to
Yeah.
make sure that the whole show is going to be good. And so, and we've talked about this, is like if I'm in front of Maria, I get to try all my new, and she's like, just do it. And so I genuinely, in front of 900 people, brought a set list on stage.
Great.
And I was like,
How much do they pay for a ticket?
I think
that goes into how much I.
Yeah, I think it was
How much I
expensive.
experiment.
But get this, they're Maria's people.
Yeah.
So at one point I got lost because
Yeah.
because I'm trying to get the chunk in order and
Yeah,
I can't get the 25 in order. So I had to look at my list, and I said to those guys, some of these they're going to be great in 6 months. This whole thing's going to be super tight. and I said, so I'm working on a lot of new stuff, and they cheered.
Wow.
Because they're
That's
Maria's
really
people.
Awesome.
And get this, after both shows, at one time after two people after whatever, they said, thank God you did the tantric sex joke, because I've heard you talking about it on the Jackie and Laurie show for months. And I'm like, oh, well, then I'm glad you heard it. And
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was good. And she Maria actually fixed this thing I want to do about the food junk.
Yeah.
That thing I'm doing about Oprah and whatever.
Yeah.
And it's how people see other people, the prejudice that we all have.
Yeah.
You see somebody who looks all together and they're super hot, and you're just like, well, he's probably a dick.
Yeah.
Or she's probably a bitch. And then you meet
usually
them.
that's correct though. But there are exceptions. So let's address them. the
Let's
minority.
address that. Or look at the cheerful fat girl. I bet she's super nice. Well, no. No, it turns out she might be as big of a dick as anybody. But, the thing is you look at people and you see things that,
Yeah.
and I wanted to address that in that food bit, because it's all about sort of perception. And Maria came up with the greatest angle in the world that I don't want to give it away, but
Yeah.
it's just like, there's just so much when you're sitting around with Maria Bamford
Yeah.
and you get to go back and forth. It's a win.
That's really cool.
So
you did 25 in Nashville, right?
I did 25 in Nashville.
And then when you go to Charlotte, you did tantric sex again, right?
Yeah, I did. I decided I opened and closed the same.
Okay.
Wait, yeah, I opened and closed the same. I'm opening with the mosque thing and going into Irish Goodbye.
Okay.
And Maria's like, you should open with Irish Goodbye. And I was like, for you, that's a super dark joke. So it doesn't. She's like,
Is that about your mom?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that joke.
That joke
Yeah.
it's funny, but
Yes.
yeah. So and and then I did different stuff in the middle.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because there's so much I love about like some of that stuff I've worked on more than others.
Yeah.
And so the newer stuff needs more work. And that's the way it goes. And I just talked to Louis. Here's the other thing, the weird thing that happened. I have 19 stories.
Okay.
Louis Lee from Acme called me because Acme in Minneapolis, he has been there 25 years.
I read something on Facebook today. There's
Right.
they're going to do some rezoning of the area, or
Well, he essentially got in and was the first real business in that area.
Yeah.
Now it's all condos. It's all
Yeah.
condos and hipster stuff, right? And the parking lot across the street from Acme, they want to build condos there.
Oh,
So the
no.
parking's gone.
Yeah.
So if they do that, he's got to move Acme.
Wow.
And the building that he's in is a historical landmark, so
Yeah.
they can't knock that building down.
Yeah.
But he's like, I don't know what to do. So he called me up and he was like, hey, for the 25th anniversary, I'm just going to bring in people who started out emceeing at my club and just pay, for a Sunday night. You want to hang out, have dinner, do a show for anybody who wants to come for the 25th anniversary. I'll pay for air and hotel
wow,
and dinner, and then you'll fly home. And
that's neat.
It's neat, right? And it's me and Pete Lee and Tracy Ashley and Dave Mordahl and then so I say, of course, I'll do whatever you want ever.
Yeah.
And he says, I get a text from him like hours later. Hey, text Cy Amundsen.
I don't know who Cy Amundsen is.
He's a young comic out of Minneapolis
Okay.
who is now headlining and
Okay.
he's great. But he's a comic out of Minneapolis that Louis, they're ball busters. They bust each other's balls all the time, and there's constantly pranks. And I hate pranks.
Yeah.
And club owner pranks always make the comic uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know
I wish
if-
club owners would stay in their lane.
Yes, it would be awesome.
Just own your club.
Just own the club. And Louis, and Lewis is better than 99.9% of them, right? But so he's like, but him and Cy have this ancestry of this history of ball. So he's like, hey, text Cy and ask him if he's doing the thing in September here at Acme. And I was like, did you not invite him? And he said, he's working here this week. I'll ask him on Saturday. I just want you to set him up that he thinks he's not invited. And I was like,
Why? Why bring you into this?
Well, exactly. And so I'm like, but I am a comic. So I'm like, of course, Lewis, I'll do whatever you want.
Sure.
You're the booker.
How quickly we capitulate to anything a booker.
I'm a Nazi.
I'm on the books for next year, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
good.
He's
Yeah.
like, you can pick whatever week you want, he said to me. And so I do it, and Cy, of course, knows that some shit is up because he texts me back immediately. He's like, you're the second one to text me. Hi, how's it going? And I was like, yeah, club owners are hilarious. Good luck. And so we left it at that. But I remember, like, Lewis is the nicest of the. Did you ever? Like, Scott Hansen was the worst.
That must be a Midwest thing.
Yeah, maybe it's a Midwest thing because the hilarity of club owners. Scott Hansen would make guys bait each other, and then he would book one guy and then take it away and give it to a guy at his same level.
Okay.
It was for no reason.
Like, there's a lot of club owners that used to also MC the shows, which was always a disaster.
Always an error.
Yeah, horrible. Okay, so I thought of this thing. Like, I'm doing all these mom jokes, right?
Yeah.
And they're kind of dark. But it's like joke. They're very quick succession of jokes. Yep. And so I'm like, well, all right. So, I've reached the end of this trail, and where do I go from here? And so I was thinking about this thing, and I just had it in the back of my mind. I hadn't officially written it down as a thing I was going to try.
Right.
But then I was up at the Improv Lab, and that place will kind of open your brain up sometimes.
Yeah.
I was doing
that's a good space.
Puderbaugh sisters.
I know that.
Yeah, they're a funny female team act from Chicago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're really
how
funny.
Are they?
Puderbaugh, Puterbaugh.
Okay.
So anyway, so I'm up on stage, and so I just sort of told the story, which is I'll tell it the story because I think there's something there to build off of.
Yeah.
But it's like not my story to tell; it's my mom's story. But this is true, and
so this is the true part
to protect her anonymity if I can. So we're watching a couple years ago. We're watching Intervention.
Okay,
and one of the heroin addicts or whatever had been molested, like in the woods, like the classic molestation, stranger molestation. Right?
Oh wow!
So I'm watching with my mom, and my mom goes, "Oh, I think that happened to me."
What?
Yes. Never heard this in my life. I'm like,
now's the time to.
And then she starts, running off these details and I'm like, I'm like, you were
genuinely
sexually assaulted, Mom.
In the woods?
In bushes.
Bushes.
At an apartment complex. And my mom goes, she said something like, "Oh, come on, you're being dramatic." Which then I'm like, oh, that explains my entire childhood. Because if you can blow off being molested in the bushes, me and my feelings are nothing.
Yeah, right.
They are not. So I think there's something, there's some base there, right? That's truth-based.
Oh, that's a gold mine.
It is a gold mine, but it's not my gold mine.
No, it is not your gold mine. And yet, it is your gold mine because it explains your entire fucking childhood. Because that is where that joke goes, right?
Right.
I mean, and the thing is in life, you could say, oh, she was on the Titanic, but she lived. And so every time you try, we've heard jokes from people who are like, oh, my dad was in World War II.
Yeah.
And everything I complain about,
Yeah.
So, Hannes Finney's mom was in, do you know Hannes? He does Storyworthy with Christine Blackburn.
I did meet him.
I started stand up with him and in Madison in the 80s. Anyways, but his mom was in Hitler Youth when she was 9. She was impressed into it because she was 9 and in Germany. So he does jokes about.
Does she talk about it?
Oh, she's
Or
dead
did she
now.
talk about
yeah,
it?
she would talk about it sometimes, but she would say things like, well, what, during the war, we didn't have, we were eating cats or something. I don't know. It'd be like these trials and tribulations that affected. So this is something that, yes, your mom has never talked about it before.
Right.
But it's a huge reveal.
It is a huge reveal. And yeah, but
Do you want to make up something just as horrible?
no, there's nothing just as horrible. I mean,
Right.
I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that you bury and it pops up. And for a,
Like sexual
for
assault.
a female
Yes.
that explains why you ignore stuff that's happening to your own daughter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? For her entire life. Like if you can press that down, you can press fucking anything down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it almost has to be exactly that. The hard
Yeah.
details.
And,
I
mean, I might not be the right person to.
I know you're not. That's why. That's why I went to you because I kind of want permission. But it's
well,
weird. I mean, that's
no,
a
because
problem that tons of novelists. I mean, novelists have or writers have if they use stuff from other people's lives, and other people are like, "Hey, what the fuck? That's my life. What are you talking about?"
Sedaris has that great story about how his sister is telling this story about how she accidentally hit a dog and then had to euthanize it on the road and with a pillowcase and her exhaust system, and he's reaching for his notebook. And she says, if you ever tell the story, I'm never talking to you again. And he had just told the story. And he said, I'm the horrible person who then had to say to her, what? That was funny. I'm just saying, you're the hero of the, or whatever,
Oh, my
right?
God.
And so, classic. That's what we do,
I know, but I don't know.
I don't know. Maria has this chunk
That's
about her
like-
sister that she has trouble talking about too.
Right.
And I always think parents and everybody, with my dad, he gets rebuttal time. I always I do a joke about my oldest brother and what a jackass of an evangelist he is. I sent him the album. I did the joke. Fuck you. You're like that with me. So that's how.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, my mom isn't. She doesn't go to comedy clubs.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't really leave the house.
Right.
She's not part of this world. She won't hear this podcast.
Right.
She won't hear that chunk of material if I ever work on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
I think that it'll work through your own fucking issues more than anything else, which is what comedy is really good for, to some extent.
right. I just feel kind of weird. Mm-hmm. I feel like a thief.
And
like
don't steal it. Talk to her about it.
Ooh, oh no.
Oh Jesus!
What?
She brought it up. You didn't bring it up. I'm not saying that's easy. I'm saying
Right.
that is a thing that you don't have to steal it from her. I know it's a weird one.
I mean, and that's it.
Yeah.
It's a particularly shame-based sort of thing to happen that it's different from being in
Or being
Hitler
robbed.
Youth even,
Or even being robbed.
Yes,
or
yes,
beaten. Yeah. I mean, if she had been domestically abused.
Right.
I mean, let's go to other dark things that might have happened to your mother. No, I don't want it for 500. No.
Yeah.
And so it's just weird, I think. But I think it's a gold mine. I think that stuff like that is so real and so interesting and particularly able for a woman to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, and it's
Because
real. I
guys
mean,
don't get to. Or if you do, it better be really funny, gentlemen.
Sure. Oh yeah. I mean, I just mean like, I wouldn't be making fun of my mother for
Right.
having that happen.
Right.
So it's all, how she processed it and how
And how it came out.
she ignored a lot of stuff.
Right.
But
It came out
It just still
sideways.
feels like
Yeah.
it still doesn't feel 100% right to
Well, it's
just
also
grab that little.
super new. I would sit on that as a premise for a second. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to try it this week.
Well, it did work pretty well. That's like the part of me is like, well, I don't think
That's
so. Yeah,
the
but
part
it worked
that is-
pretty well.
But it was kind of nice, and I don't have a new chunk. Yeah.
Yeah, but then I tried it. Well, I tried it one other time, and then I used different language. You
Yeah.
have to figure out which words to use. Where
Totally.
people, you can say sexual assault and rape maybe are exactly the same thing, but one gives an audience more permission to laugh
Yes.
than rape. Rape,
Yeah,
no one laughs at that word.
It's a hard one. It's a hard word.
Yeah.
You better have a joke about the word rape.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you better tag it up. So,
I don't know.
it's weird.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I got pages worth of set lists that I worked on this weekend, which was good. It was fun. It was very fun today when Maria and I checked in, and she's gold medallion and I'm silver because I missed my gold medallion status on Delta, you guys. But I
You guys
was the
both
one-
fly Delta?
Yeah, and I got the reserve card this year because her mother told me to.
What's the reserve card?
The
credit
reserve card is a Amex credit card that costs $450 a year,
Fuck.
which I make up in free luggage easily.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a cheaper one that gets you free luggage, but the $450 one gets you into the Delta Sky Club.
Which is the lounge.
Which is the lounge, which has free coffee, which I'm going to make up in free coffee. I swear to God, in 5 years I will make it up. But so today, when the flight got delayed and then we missed our connecting flight in Atlanta, we go into Sky Club because there was a very long line to get a new flight. So I was like, I think we can go into the Sky Club, and they'll do it for me for and there's no line. And so we go in, and then they said because there were mechanical problems, Maria could come in with me. And so we sat and had a free salad, and it was pretty great. But we're sitting around, and when we had checked in initially, the guy who checked us in said, "So you guys are kind of you're buddied up." But if you were separate, the gold medallion, whoever's gold medallion of the two of you, would get bumped up to first class because there's a spot. And Maria looks at me, and I was like, "Take it,
Oh, my
take
God,
it."
yeah.
Oh my God, there's no loyalty when it comes to fucking
To legroom? No.
to leg room.
No. I'll
Exactly.
stab you in the back in a second for more legroom.
And she said the funniest thing. She goes, "We've been together for 78 hours. There's plenty of time for us to talk.
Yes.
We've talked."
Yeah.
And I was like, "So true, so fucking true." Because I love Maria Bamford like a sister, but it's good.
It's good to separate.
Yeah, we don't need to sit next to each other. And then
And you're in the comfort section.
we're both in the comfort section. Well, and then she lost first class
What
because
happened?
we missed the so that was she had gotten bumped up for the 5-hour leg. So when we went into the Sky Lounge or whatever, they found us 2 Delta Comfort things and found her a window and me an aisle. And she likes an aisle, and I like a window. It's a great story. It's a really good story. I'm going to wrap it up. It's a riveting tale of what our preferences are.
So, you worked out. How much closer are you to having your 50 minutes?
Oh, yeah. So it's pretty awesome, quite honestly, because I did this. So middle-aged lady time.
Yeah.
Is first of all, I got a button on it. I
Yeah.
wrote a button.
Nice.
Which is awesome. A final tag, and that brings the whole thing together. And then
I love that.
Yeah. It doesn't hit as hard as it could, but it's almost there.
Yeah.
And it's harder than anything that's come before it.
Right. Don't
So-
worry, you're still there.
I'm in the right direction.
You're like a little. You're like a paleontologist. Just you've got bones, and you're just
With the brush?
brushing away dirt. Yeah, you're getting there. You're getting there.
Look
You
at the
got that
tooth I
skeleton.
discovered. I discovered a tooth.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. So I'm close. I have that chunk, and I have the brand new chunk that I'm working on is my father's advice, and it's been swirling around in my brain for, I swear to God, 3 years.
Right.
And so I finally figured out a way to put it together because they're building that, they're turning a Catholic church into a mosque in my hometown.
Oh, yeah.
And I talked to my dad about it, and he's like, most people are fine. Some people are idiots. And because my father's thing is 90% of the population are idiots. And he doesn't mean it as an insult. No, he doesn't mean it as an insult. He just means They're just not that bright. They're not thinking about it. Just like 30. And he said the funniest thing that I'm using verbatim, which is 30 years from now, it just means South Milwaukee's going to be crawling with lapsed Muslims.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
I've
a
heard
great
that one.
line.
I'm not laughing because I've heard that one.
Right. And it's a great line. It's a great line. So, and I can build off of that. And I can talk about how it's not that big of a deal and it's going to be fine and who cares.
Yeah.
And so, and that leads into my father's advice about things. And that doesn't have an end at all. Very sad for the entire audience as I was like, and now we move to the chunks, to the things that work, like the Indian casino bit and the moccasin bit and the, all the Andy stuff.
Yeah.
Most of the Andy stuff works.
Well, remember I said I had a callback that Barron and Mike Glazer both suggested. And so it was kind of working. It wasn't killing.
Yeah.
And then the callback is I say Domingo again.
Oh, right.
So I realized, I was like, maybe people don't know that Domingo is Spanish for Sunday.
I didn't.
It turns out you and, as your dad said, the rest of the population
90% of the people.
Yeah.
We're idiots.
So I've just been saying it very quickly in the setup of the previous chunk. And now it all makes sense. I guess it wasn't making sense to people.
There we go. Because I can do sábados.
So strange.
Sábados means Saturday.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Sábados Gigante.
What's that? A giant Saturday?
Yes. It was like this show on Univision.
There you go.
This huge show that just ended. But
you're watching a lot of television if you're watching Univision.
No, because we almost did a Spanish show. So we're watching a little bit.
Okay,
of it.
fair enough.
By the way, I'm wearing my sleeping underpants right now. I'm like halfway ready to go to bed. It's like 10:30. I wear special underwear to go. I dress like a Mormon at night. And
Excellent.
So I'm ready to go.
You've got your secret underwear on? That's
Yes.
fantastic. Let me tell you this about where I am.
Yeah.
Every inch of 50 is all day long is what I've looked like. Every time I've looked in the mirror, every time I've done a
Travel
selfie,
day. Oh, you fucking
look
look
at the
your
X-Men.
age on a travel day.
Travel day, you're just like, oh,
The worst.
Screw this.
Yeah.
Screw this aging stuff. And
It's
Andy
awful.
picked me up and I was like, every inch of 50, this is what you married. Congratulations. And he's like, happy to see you.
He's
And I was
so
like,
nice. He picks you up and he's hanging out here while you do a podcast after
Right.
being gone for the whole
I
weekend.
know. He was like, no, I really need to hang out with you. And I was like, well, you're adorable and I love you.
That's
And
really sweet.
It is really sweet.
I'll never have that. I won't.
I think we have a name of the show. I'll never have
I really
that.
won't. I'm just like, that's
I think
just not going to happen
You
for
can
me.
do it. You can do it.
No,
a
there's no
vision
doing
board.
it.
There's a vision board in your future. Clip some bullshit
I need
up.
to be hospitalized like Maria before I actually...
glue stick.
I did start meditating. I'm like,
Yeah, you're meditating,
I'm
aren't
really
you?
tightly wound recently. And I do my little artist way pages. And for a while, that was enough. I stopped meditating because I just couldn't sit still. So I tried this thing where and I've just only been doing it 2 days, so I shouldn't even jinx it. It's my new habit that I've been doing.
Let me brag
that I've
about
done
what
twice.
I'm doing now.
No, where instead of like setting, because here's the thing, I'll get the iPhone out and I'll set it for 20 minutes or 10 minutes, but then I'm like, what's on Twitter? And then all of a sudden I fucking forgot to meditate.
Yeah.
So instead of even going to any sort of digital alarm clock, I just count 50 breaths. And that turns out to be about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And 5 minutes is like a new starting place for me.
That
but
sounds
it's weird.
good.
I notice I do feel like a little looser in my bones, my emotional bones, even when I do a teeny bit of it.
Yeah.
If I could just get myself to do a lot of it, everything would be different.
Everything would be different. I went for 3 walks this week. And when I say walks, I mean we're talking 10 to 15 minutes I walked around a fucking block. Because I don't want to exercise. It's a pain in the ass. But Laura House is starting a new podcast.
Laura House. Oh, I went to see her play.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Okay. So
Good people?
Yes, agree.
Okay.
So first of all, I didn't. I thought I had a gig on Sunday or Friday because when you look at your Google iPhone calendar, it has little dots if you have something going on.
No, but okay.
Okay, maybe I have mine set up incorrectly, but it turns out it wasn't a gig; it was my son's doctor appointment. So I get to Friday, I'm like, oh, I got nothing going on. Fuck. And then I remembered I wanted to see her play, and I saw it. It was really great,
and it was
she
really
was
well done.
funny in it.
Oh,
and
good.
the lead actress was amazing. Just it's really great performances. It was
that's cool.
Yeah, I went by myself, as I do everything.
I swear to
solo
God.
traveler.
I want you to. It's Maria's doing this, and I'm obsessed with Maria's act right now, just because I've been watching it for days.
Yeah.
And she does this thing about aggressive optimism.
Yeah.
And I am almost aggressively optimistic at you about how you could find a boyfriend. So
I don't know
or a
that I
part-
want to find a
Yeah.
boyfriend. How do I invite a guy into this? This life that I
Well,
have.
you're not hiring the caterers. You're just finding someone to go to coffee with. Jesus Christ. You're not saying to yourself, let's adopt Ugandan children. You're living in a future that is yet to be.
I
That's what I'm
live in
saying.
a dollhouse. I'm like a giant in a dollhouse, and there's no room for another person to even stop by for coffee.
Right. But you can leave your dollhouse and go to a coffee shop in Burbank.
When I was leaving for this tonight,
this
my
very
mom
item.
was like, "You're going out again tonight?"
Yeah.
It's like the same as when I was a teenager. If I
Right.
do anything, you're doing that again tonight?
Yep.
Disappointment. It's never-ending disappointment.
Well,
I
you
mean,
know that
that's
she
what
was
I was
sexually assaulted one time.
Oh no! Oh my God! You're worse than me. Yay!
How is that possible?
I'm not the
That
worst
might be the-
person on earth. You are.
That might be the title.
You are.
I'm not. I know what you are. I know
You
are.
got to laugh
So
off
am
my
I.
mother's sexual assault that I haven't gotten yet. And now
And there's the crux
I
of
must kill you.
it. There's the crux of it, ladies and gentlemen. It's I don't know. Oh, here's the weirdest thing, and this is not the first time. This has happened. People have said it to me too, and I got a weird email today, something comparable, where a girlfriend of a guy came up after a show not long ago and said,
You just did a physical gesture.
I just made a physical gesture.
Okay.
And so this woman comes up and says, hey, my boyfriend, you're on my boyfriend's list that it's okay to have sex with. He's
For-
my boyfriend. For me,
For-
Maria, and it's happened to me. It's happened to me, but it happened to Maria over the weekend.
Wait,
And-
am I on this list?
No, it's
Well,
okay.
fucking, why would you tell me about a list I'm not on?
You're not understanding this.
You don't remember our first podcast.
Which is I love all lists. The list thing was my thing, but thanks for co-opting it. I wrote that.
You stole my shit. I'm stealing yours.
Here's what it is when some couple of banana heads come up to you and they're huge fans, and you and Maria was the nicest person on the planet to this couple, because the guy was just like, I'm a huge fan of yours. This is what happened this time, but it's happened a half a dozen times in my career where a couple will come up and the guy's like, hey, I'm a huge fan, and you're like, oh, thank you so much, and then his girlfriend will say, I'm his girlfriend, and I just want you to know that you're on his list of things that he could have, of people that he could have sex with, and it wouldn't count. It would be an okay cheat. Like that thing from Friends with the laminated list.
Right.
And you're just like, well, now we're all uncomfortable. That's a weird thing to say. And it's like, I don't mean to be creepy, but I think you're super sexy. And I think, which
That
is
is the female fan's incredible sacrifice.
well, it is a classic. Wait, what does that mean?
I mean, she's giving up her man.
Oh, yeah,
giving-
yeah.
yeah.
You can have him for the day.
Yes,
like
it's a
was the
huge-
Big Chill?
It's a. I don't know.
Let's reference other movies from
I know.
the 70s.
It's. I guess it's flattering. I don't know. No one's ever said it to me.
no. Well, no.
That's all I can. That's all I can focus on. But do tell your story.
I cannot believe no one has ever said that. No one has ever said anything inappropriate,
You know what?
sexual
I'm
after a
starting
show.
to learn that I'm scary to people.
I love the tiny. You're not hearing Kyle tinily cackle in the background. Are you
Because even
terrified?
sometimes you forward emails. I don't know if Laurie'd be interested in this, but Jackie, like, well,
I have
feel comfortable talking to you, and they're like,
this is enormously approachable. The Jackie-cation is just like, yeah, because people are constantly giving me advice, and for years I reminded everyone of their college roommate, and now I remind everyone of their aunt.
and I was going through pictures and stuff, and I found a rejection letter from Jimmy Brogan at The Tonight Show. Oh, saying
nice.
But he wanted to keep up with my progress. I kept the
Good
letter
for you.
and
Good
never
for you.
sent him another tape.
Right. I wonder. You know what? If you had a chance, you could. He'd probably give you some advice about how you're progressing. What year was that from? Like the 90s?
Yeah, the 90s.
Nice,
yeah.
nice. That's awesome. That's hilarious.
So I did this show a couple weeks ago, and it's out, one of the venues here that's we feel like the audience is mostly comedy students.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Where I got the feeling from this one show that the crowd all took improv classes, and their improv teacher said, "Oh, you should check out some stand-up comedy." And they came to watch these animals perform stand-up comedy because they weren't like in the show. They weren't like part of it. Their hearts weren't in it. Nothing was beating faster. It was like this sort of curious detachment.
Was it supportive? You didn't feel supportive?
Sort of, but it just felt like it. I just felt like I was being watched. You know what I mean?
And you were on stage, performing, so you're used to that.
It's a
but it's a different kind of
you and the audience. It's
no, I know exactly what you mean. Which I think that it's a creepy kind of watch.
It's not.
It didn't feel super comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then afterwards, I was standing next to the. I had to valet my car because it's hard to get parking. And a couple was standing right next to me. Yeah. And so they started talking about the comedians on the show. And I'm right next to them. This is how they're both kind of looking down on their iPhones and not looking up. And I'm right here. And so they started talking about somebody else who was on. And the guy was like, "Yeah, man, she totally panicked." And I was like, I saw her set. There was no panic. A new joke didn't work. I'm like, you picked the wrong word. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then that made me sort of annoyed. And then I heard the phrase, and the last lady with the blonde hair. and the way he went up, it was like, I'm about to fucking murder her. So then I just walked away.
Oh, did you step away?
Yeah, I didn't want to hear it.
You couldn't do it?
Couldn't do it. Because I know
don't
what
know
I
that
think
I
of
would have walked
said. I know what I think.
Yeah.
I think this thing worked and this thing didn't work, and that's all I need to fucking know. I don't
It's
need.
true. You are. That's the same. That might be the sanest thing I've ever heard you say. I have this to say. My favorite thing that someone has ever said to me at a hard set. Let's say that. Let's say that out loud. Hard set over at the Fake Gallery some years ago.
Right.
I come out of the show and a guy sees me and he kind of jerks. It's like double take-ish. And then he says, "You were up there."
Oh my God.
It was one of the greatest things that has ever been said to me. I was like, it sure was. It sure was.
Wow. You took up part of my life.
That's 10 minutes I'm never getting back is what he might have said. But he didn't. He didn't say that. He wanted to be nice, but he didn't know what to say.
I did set list last night.
Oh, did you?
Is this one dragging? Do you feel like this podcast is dragging? No, you don't feel like it's dragging?
No, I'm exhausted.
All right, good. I'm exhausted.
Well,
Maybe my secret Mormon underwear is cutting off.
Right. Well, it's 2 a.m. for me here.
Yeah.
So
well, it's 10:30 for me.
How did set list go? Did you come up with a new signature bit?
No, I didn't. But it was
I love
fine.
set list. Yeah.
It's very hit or miss for me. Sometimes I do really well, and sometimes I don't. And
I've only choked when it mattered. Like when there's industry. I choked an episode of Montreal.
I did it at Bridgetown last.
That's
the
it.
last time I did Bridgetown, I did it, and it wasn't that good.
It wasn't that good. It was annoying. Yeah,
serviceable. It got the job done, but it wasn't like there's no epiphanies, and people weren't like.
I wrote my mullet joke at that mullet thing I do about the front of the mullet.
No.
Versus the back of the mullet, whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, so
I have to hear the full joke, and then I'll go, "Oh yeah, that joke."
Right. So, like a genuinely a great bit. I got that out of set list. So what was your topics?
I don't remember. I already forgot.
Oh, dumb.
It's part of my.
That's too bad.
It's that stuff that's in your RAM.
Yeah.
And as soon as you're done, you dump it.
Don't you? I don't have record set list. I haven't done it in months.
Yeah,
I love it.
I don't listen to that shit. Of course, I record it. Oh my God.
Oh my God, I recorded Nashville and then I transcribed it because I wanted to get the 25 minutes and know what I had done right and what I had done wrong. And it was revealed. It turned out sadly.
Someone, Emily Heller?
Yeah.
I did a show that she has, and it was a fun show, but she talked about...
At Mr. Emily Heller?
Yes.
Yes.
She's very funny. She's
super
great.
funny.
She has an intern. And I'm like,
Does
oh
she?
my God, I want an intern.
Oh my God, who doesn't want an intern?
Yes.
Yeah. Except for I can't
But
face
that's
it.
someone that could transcribe a set. You could just read it afterward. I mean, you have to sit there and pause the thing and type it out.
People, did I not send you the email of the guy who wanted to do that for us?
I know, but I
don't want to do that.
No, I can't.
I want an
It's
intern
a fantasy. I'm not gonna.
in the abstract. I want an intern. In the real
Yeah.
life, I want to pay someone to do it, but I don't.
Yes.
I don't have the money to do it.
Right.
So thank you very much. That is a beautiful thing to offer, but I can't face it. So, but what did you like it? Set list?
Yeah, I did like it last night.
Good.
Yeah.
Where'd you do it? Here
At the Improv.
At the Improv.
Yeah.
Not here at Nerdmelt. Okay.
And it was a 10 o'clock show. We were up against Game of Thrones. And East Coast Game of Thrones Twitter was going crazy. So West Coast Game of Thrones, I think, stayed home to watch it live.
They probably killed somebody that shouldn't have been killed.
I think so, yeah.
They're constantly killing people that I'm like, oh, well, that's a good
Don't
guy.
tell me I haven't watched any of it yet, but
I don't know anything
will.
about it.
Okay,
It's
good.
fine. All I know is winter is coming. So,
Yeah, it was fun. Set list. Maybe people don't know,
Yeah.
it's Troy
Oh, right.
Conrad came
Yeah.
up with this thing where you stand up on stage and there's a screen behind you, like a PowerPoint screen or something.
Yeah.
And he comes up with phrases. One time I had. I can't remember any of my phrases right now, but
Right.
it's always things that don't go together. It don't make any sense.
or
like,
they're just weird, like
hat headphone or something like that. Just going up.
astronaut ice cream.
Yes, whatever. Yeah, and then you come up with material based on it.
Yes, and you have to pretend that the material is old. That
No,
you're
I don't
not
think
coming up with
that's
it.
the rule.
That is the rule. You're supposed to pretend that they're your jokes and you've been doing them for a long time.
No, I don't think that's the rule. I think you made that one up.
Troy, please,
I
Jackie
think
at JackieCation.com.
you just come up with something on.
It's like half and half.
It's
Like,
half and
that
half.
was the original conceit. But
Yeah.
Half the time it doesn't.
And half the time people don't do it, but half the time.
Well,
but that's,
a
but
lot
that's
of
the
time,
job.
cheaters do use their old material.
Oh, that is true. I
I've
don't
seen
approve
that.
of cheaters. I
No,
don't approve
it's
of
like
cheaters.
they have that word, and that word goes in a chunk from '94, and these people haven't seen it. Let me drag it out.
Right. It's like, yeah, that's I
You
call
can't
bullshit
hide
on
when
that.
you're being smooth.
Yeah, you
you
cannot
know?
hide a
I'm
joke
onto
that
you.
is.
There's a couple comics I visualize
You got
right
some
now
names. You got some names in your head.
in my head.
That's where
stay
they
in my
belong.
head.
That's where they belong in your head because they don't just. Hey, let's talk about the comic of the week,
Oh yes,
who we love dearly.
my dear old friend.
Yes.
and we started together in San Francisco. Her name's Karen Anderson.
Karen Anderson, who I
Hilarious.
met at Knuckleheads at the Mall of America
Oh, really?
in probably '94.
Yeah,
And she was headlining.
yeah,
And she used to do this joke about how she had scoliosis.
yeah.
And external braces when
Yes.
she was a kid, and she would go
And
to the beach
headgear.
and headgear.
Yeah.
She would go to the beach and lie on it, and people would chain their bikes to her. And that was the premise, and it was the greatest premise in the
I
world.
remember her being just at this is the thing she used to do in San Francisco at the zoo, at the Holy City Zoo. Like she'd be like, I can't get married. I don't have the responsibility. I can't handle the responsibility. Guys, I just got my kiss posters framed.
Karen Anderson is a delight.
Yes.
She does a podcast with Doug Benson
Oh.
called Doug and Karen Eat Lunch or
Dining
something.
with Doug and Karen.
yeah,
Dining with
yeah.
Doug and Karen, and it's here on the Nerdist Network. And I have been
Do
on
they
it.
tape it here?
They tape it here.
Do they eat and talk at the same
Yep.
time? That is
How-
disgusting.
Right. And I have been on it more than once.
I can't stand those noises.
LA Podfest, I wiped out because I was their guest.
Yeah.
And you know when they set up in a room that's like it's just a conference room
Yeah.
in a hotel, and they have a stage and there's no back to it, but there's a curtain, so you don't know where the wall is. And I fell off the back of that. And somebody made a GIF or a GIF, and I was
think
like, I wish they had made the GIF or
I
GIF.
prefer GIF, but I think it's GIF.
Whatever, but I wish they would have made it long enough so that I would have popped up a back again because I just looked like I killed myself.
Well, Karen wrote for Ellen for a long time.
Yep.
Like she was one of the founding writers that helped start that show. She and Karen Kilgariff.
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah, they
Ellen.
were the first of the-
Yeah, they kind of
Yeah.
sat down and hashed out this daytime show. You
Right,
know?
and what it should be and what it could
And
be like.
numerous daytime Emmys for
Yep.
all that and stuff. And
Yeah.
so she's a great writer too.
And
She's a really funny act.
Yeah, she's such a funny writer now, but
Yeah.
It's her stand-up. I miss her stand-up.
Yeah,
it was
check
so,
her out. Karen, normal spelling, Karen, Anderson, regular shit.
Yeah. And if you probably, I don't know her Twitter. We haven't prepared that well.
She and I did Comedy on the Road together. I have a picture of
John
she and
Biner?
together in 1992, taken in Hawaii with a parrot.
Oh, thank God they put something Hawaiian because parrots. I'm surprised they didn't have you both holding a pineapple.
That might be in there.
United Fruit Company mug. Hello. Anyway, that's political. Okay, so what are you gut sets this week?
Yeah. Well, this is coming out next Monday.
Yeah, it'll come out next Monday.
I don't know.
Quite
what sets
honestly.
I have. I don't get ahead. I look at dots on my calendar.
Yeah,
and
and
find out
then
the
you're
doctor
wrong.
appointments
It
for my
turns out.
kid.
So this, I think this goes up like the 30th, right?
Yes.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
And-
Oh yes. Okay. I'm at the Viper Room on Tuesday night.
Are you doing the Viper Room?
Tammy Jo Deeren has a show at the Viper Room now, and she said the
Tammy
last one was
Jo can
great.
fill a room like nobody's
She
business.
produced my special,
Right?
and she filled 4 shows.
That's
It was yeah.
She's just good at it.
She was grossly underpaid. If I make any money from it, I'm giving her more.
All of it.
And then on Wednesday the 1st, I'm doing Laura House's show at Flappers.
Hey, so am I.
Okay, cool.
Flappers Laura House, 8 p.m. Flappers Burbank,
Mm-hmm.
June 1st. And then that weekend, I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons. You wanted to know that, right? And then I'm recording a great
This will
episode
be a
of the
short podcast, right?
The Dork
Are we-
Forest about zombies.
What?
Zombies. Somebody has a zombie role-playing game that they made.
Really?
A guy from Tabletop. Will Wheaton's video podcast. The guy who books the games is going to be on the Dork Forest. It's a great story.
I'm melting.
That you don't wanna
I think
hear.
I'm melting.
You don't wanna hear it.
into the ground.
I'm going to Dallas. Dallas Fort Worth is my next on the road.
Where at Hyenas?
No, the
Improv?
amphibian theater. Baron Vaughn got me the gig.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's a little theater.
Is it a
Ryan's-
one-nighter?
It's a 2-nighter. Ryan Singer did it last weekend.
Oh,
I'm doing
wow.
it in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
Should be fun.
man.
Yeah. It's Maria's going to Boston. I instead I'm going to go to Fort Worth and make a nickel. And but I was like, I kind of wanted. I've never been to Fort Worth,
Yeah.
and I love Baron Vaughn.
Yeah.
And so when he suggested it, I was like, well, if you had fun and it was
Yeah.
cool, I want
Yeah.
to be cool like Ryan Singer and Baron Vaughn.
Yes, I'd rather be cool than.
Well, I would, and then rich. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of the other gigs there. I don't know if they
right.
pay great.
Oh,
I
they're
don't know,
all
the
good.
Hyenas.
Oh,
pays
Hyenas.
really
Yeah, I've
well.
never gotten in with Hyenas. And then, and then I'm going to New
Then
York.
there's an improv there too, right?
When are you going to New York again?
I'm going June 16th and 17th.
Oh, I'm going to be there the 14th and 15th.
I'm trying. Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh,
I'm doing.
man.
How weird is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm flying into JFK on the 14th, flying out on the 16th.
Oh, come on. I'm flying in on the 16th.
16th?
Is a Friday?
The 16th is a Thursday. I'm going to Joker's in Indy.
Then I'm coming in on the 17th.
Okay.
I'm
right,
doing.
right.
I'm trying different red eyes to see which combination is least painful for
Oh,
me.
right.
So this one is I'm leaving on Friday night, and then I'm doing spots on Saturday and Sunday.
Fun.
And then I'm coming out on the 8:30 flight in the morning from JFK, and then going straight to work from there. So I should arrive here around. Excuse me, the 5:30 in the morning. Arrive here
Wow.
at 8:30 a.m. and go right to work and see if I
Wow.
can handle that.
Okay. Wow, let's find out.
Yeah,
What
I mean,
about-
I have like 5 spots on Saturday, which is
what?
well, it's
I
good.
gotta
But-
check in with you about who's booking the stand and stuff because I wanna get in there.
Yeah,
Which and I'm in with them, but I can't. I don't know what I have. It's all working out.
It's about $400.
Okay.
That much, but so it kind of evens out the plane fare. But then
nice.
I have to take cabs in between and stuff like
Right.
that to start. So it's
Right.
not it's less than a break
and you
even
don't
weekend.
you don't fly Delta, or do you
no,
just
I
take
don't.
whatever?
I fly
you...
JetBlue.
Oh, JetBlue.
I'm
okay.
very yeah.
Which they have the most romantic lighting of all of the
Now more than
airlines.
Virgin. Are you kidding? Virgin
They're-
with the purple lights.
Oh,
I
I'm
guess you
thinking
haven't been
of
on
Virgin.
Virgin.
I think
in a
I'm thinking
while.
of Virgin. Yeah, there's nothing
Virgin
more
has
romantic.
a good like an 11 p.m. flight out
do they?
of LAX that I really like. But
Okay.
I don't like going out of LAX.
Right, you got a Burbank.
Yeah.
because that's nice.
Yeah.
That is pretty sweet. It's wow. Yeah. I want to do sets when I'm in New York, but who knows if I will.
What are you going out there for?
Just to do Two Dope Queens. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing their podcast.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to do a live podcast. I'm going to do a set,
That's cool.
and then I'm going to go to Indy, and then I'm going to go to St. Louis with Maria. So it's like the weirdest, like it
Yeah.
in the world, and should be fun.
Yeah, that sounds sweet.
I'm sure I'll. You know, it sounds sweet, but I get kind of exhausted with
I know.
all the travel.
It's a
but
lot
it's
of
good.
travel.
It's good. No, because I get to do stand up and I win. We all win.
You if you're still in show business, you won.
That's it. That
If you're
is
doing cruises, in my opinion, you're still winning.
Yeah. Oh, good. I'm glad you, because I agree. Like, even if you're
I know
doing
people
one nighters,
look down on cruises. It's like, no. You're still, if you're paying your bills and you're doing stand up, that's it.
Yeah,
you did it.
right? You've achieved the thing that you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And just because you get what you get, and it's fine. Don't
Yeah.
worry about it, and just keep plugging along.
Yeah.
A lot of irons in the
Do
fire.
you know Tom Cotter?
I've met him.
He, he has 3 kids, and his wife Carrie Louise is a comic too. And Tom was doing, corporate stuff and a lot of cruises and stuff, just
Yeah.
hustling, just getting
Yeah.
income from different revenue streams, just to get it all in there to
Yep.
take care of his family. And then he did America's Got Talent, and because he does
right.
so many shows where he has to be clean, he has like a shitload of clean material.
Right.
Probably not the phrase.
That's
to
how he would
describe
put it. He would put it a shitload of
But he
really
had a
clean
ton
material.
of little 2-minute sets, and he was able to
Just
I think
knock
he
'em
got
out, right?
second. But I mean, he
Was it the same season as Wendy Lieben?
I don't think so.
Okay, because she knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
too,
she did
'cause
really well, too.
She was born to do 2-minute
Yes.
sets in my head. My head, I'm sure she has to massage them and tighten them up and put a set together.
Yeah. No. Do I have a hissing S?
But in the way you talk,
Yeah.
wow, it's late. Sure is.
Sometimes I notice it, and I'm like, "Am I crazy?" And then I just noticed it again.
What to do? What to do? I was fiddling around with Snapchat today, and I was like, yeah, that tooth is still crooked. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, that's what I look like. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm sure there's something I can do about it. I could care more. I sent you that article about how people make better money if they're well groomed.
Yeah, grooming. I think that does make a difference. It shows that you're trying hard.
Right. You're in your pajama bottoms.
Okay.
I have a ponytail.
Are you? Do you ever? Because I have become more interested in workouts in maintaining balance and.
For psych stuff, psychological kind of.
No. Like my ankles.
Oh, physical.
Yeah, physical
balance.
balance. So I do a lot of stuff that's like just because I don't, we're 50 now, and we're going to be climbing up on stages in 20 years and 30 years. Are we going to be 80 years old climbing up steps? Like 80-year-olds fall all the time.
Yeah.
And maybe because I'm living with my mom, I just see this,
The teetering?
the teetering
Yeah.
and the holding on to things. And I'm like, I don't want to be.
You want to be bendy? You want to
Yes.
keep some limberness?
I don't want to fall and have a head injury. I want to be
Yeah.
able to take care. Like it's.
I would love to
it's
take
so boring.
skateboard
I feel like
lessons.
I'm becoming a human embodiment of Prevention magazine. That really tiny little.
There's a prevention
boring-
magazine. Why am I
Yes.
not subscribed to that? That should come with my AARP. Bastards.
But I don't want to lose physical dexterity.
Right.
As hard as I'm working on mental dexterity and moving forward creatively. I
Can
don't
you
want.
roller skate backwards?
I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I've never had any physical dexterity, it turns out. I don't have a lot to lose.
I just mean like climbing
Yeah.
up steps and stuff like that.
You mean that kind of thing. Just-
yeah.
which
Stuff
I would,
where I used to think is, I got that. I don't think I need to work on that. But now,
yeah.
you can't coast on your 20-year-old athletic accomplishments.
True, true.
You still have to do shit,
Right.
to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Even if you are 25 and it's
Nah, they don't have to do anything when they're 25.
it's fine. You're
Fucking
sweet,
lay
sweet.
around, enjoy it. Enjoy it. It's gonna
Eat a
go away.
fry. Go for it. Knock yourself out. It's I don't Yeah, I don't know what to do about the aging process. Quite honestly, I'm kind of in a mode where I'm like, fuck it, just be old. And,
but I
kind
want
of
to
tired.
prepare to be like the best. I want to be the best fucking old person ever, man.
Right. I'm thinking of letting it go. I'm just thinking of just kind of phoning it in. And is there a way I could start writing novels? Because it seems like it's easier.
I know.
It's more sedentary.
Yeah.
How could it be more sedentary than stand-up comedy, Jackie?
And garden.
I might be super tired. I'm a little punchy. But I'm interested. I'm interested in learning things. I always want to learn things. I'm always reading. Mm-hmm. Hey, you did the bodice whatever.
Oh yeah,
You did some romance novel.
It's funny, like we're
bookstore.
just talking about every gig we did this week, right?
Yeah.
but that's okay, right?
That's fine. That's what people
Sure.
want to hear about, right?
Yeah.
Sure, we
Really?
do. Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
What did he just hold up a clock?
Yeah,
How much time have we
we're
done?
at an hour.
An hour.
So
Sweet.
tell me about the romance novel. Joy.
Okay, so it's in Culver City.
Yeah.
And oh my God, who booked it? Fuck.
Could be anyone.
Jen and I can't fuck up this name. Come
No.
on. Oh, dang
Kirkman,
it. No.
Kober. Just name different women.
Aaron
named-
Judge.
Oh, Aaron Judge.
Yes,
Oh, I
okay.
know Aaron
Yes.
Judge. Yeah.
So it's in a romance. There's a romance bookstore.
It's a new romance novel
and
bookstore.
It's giant. They have a ton of square footage,
Oh,
and they
that's
fit like 40
weird.
people in there.
And it was kind of packed.
It was packed.
That's
It was a
awesome.
lot of fun, and I hadn't been on stage in 3 nights. And you know how I get rusty instantly.
You
So-
are like something out of it's weird to me that you're like, I haven't been up in 3 nights, because other people are like, yeah, I get up every 3 nights, and
You
they
know
feel
what?
good about themselves.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Okay,
Boom, you guys.
I can
Boom.
tell.
Yeah,
you guys
can.
need to be getting up more.
Yeah,
okay.
get out there.
So I mean, I can tell when I can tell when
Yeah.
I'm rusty.
Yeah.
You know,
So you wanna
who are
get up.
these magical unicorns that don't get rusty after 3 nights off?
Exactly.
I don't get it. I don't fucking buy it. I've been doing it for like
77 years.
29 years, and
Yep.
I get rusty after 3 days. I know you do.
Yeah. Me?
Not you. the other
other
mythical
people,
you
everybody.
that's listening.
The
pretending
wide you.
that they can take
Yeah.
weeks off or whatever.
Yeah, you can't. Well, and I've never understood people who say, I'm taking a break from comedy. Have you ever? Did you ever do that?
No,
Me either.
I've thought about it.
I've heard
frequently.
people. Have you?
Yeah, in fact, a couple summers ago, I just wanted out. I think it was because it was either right. It was right after I had done all my dad stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not. I worked for a year on this material.
Yep.
I'm not doing it again. I'm spent. I got nothing else to say. I just don't want to get on stage every night or every third night at all. I just
Yeah.
want to power down for a little while.
And did you do it?
I took a vacation. I took my kid to Ireland, but then I went up on stage in Ireland.
Right. That's right. Because you.
That was enough,
and then-
though. I came back in love with stand-up and energized again.
And
you know?
able to write that trip off, my friend.
Yes.
Well played.
Yes.
And so, yeah, well, no, because I know that, there are people who say that they want to take the time off, and they're like, I'm taking a break from stand-up comedy. And I've never really understood it, because I was like, stand-up comedy is the break. Stand-up comedy is
know.
the thing that I do to
make the rest of
wind
the
down.
life livable.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
like there's nothing fixes a bad day like a good set.
I know.
And
I
nothing
know.
fixes a bad set like a good set.
Yeah.
Nothing else
Well,
fixes
there's a couple comics that seem to like have seasons where they take off like this.
Right.
I think Regan maybe does that.
I don't know. I know he doesn't do any sets in Vegas. He lives in Las Vegas,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he just wants to be a guy
Yeah.
with his family in
Yeah.
Las Vegas, which
So
of
I
course
think that's-
sounds weird.
Yeah,
but-
I know.
because it's
But
Vegas, but he does.
When you have a structure thing where you're taking this amount of time off every year, that must be nice too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lose my skills. I'm going to start from.
A vacation. I don't have a problem with a vacation.
Yeah.
I can take 2 weeks off every couple of years.
I mean, like 2
don't mean to-
months. What if you took off 2 months a year? Do you think that'd be good for you? If the rest of the
No.
year you are working really, really hard.
Well, what I am doing right now is I'm working the road like 2 months, and then
Yeah.
I'm staying in LA for a month.
Yeah.
And the sets are very different.
Yes,
So
yeah.
it's not a break,
Yeah.
but it's a break, because you're working a different muscle, right?
Right.
But if I didn't do stand up for months, what would that be like? That would be weird. I don't know what that would be. I'm a little frightened. I don't know how to talk about that. I don't know what I would do. What would you
have
do?
to confront yourself.
Yeah, I don't have
The person you are.
Right, I'd have to, the voices in my head. They're very hard to hush.
Well, when I had 3 nights off, and I was
Yeah.
getting angrier and angrier at my mom.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's it.
then
it's a great way to
then when
bleed
I went
off.
to Culver City, I was like, it feels like a shower. Sometimes stand up just feels like a
Yes.
shower, and I washed my hair and I'm clean.
Andy
again.
can tell when I haven't gone up in a while.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you're getting twitchy. If you could go up, that'd be awesome. And yeah, so who cares? Anyway, this has been a great episode. I have to fall over in a heap. If I do not fall over in a heap very soon,
Let's
I
end
can't
it.
go
You've been
to
traveling all
whatever.
day.
Yeah,
I have a
I got-
son to curl up around. Yeah,
I'm going to get my hair cut tomorrow. Let's take a picture of the before.
Yes.
So
All
I'm
right.
getting my hairs cut.
Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.